Okay, just for the record, what I've already noticed is that something has trampled 2 of my flags. I see a lot of indent in the ground here, which is indicative of body parts, just like this. I'm almost thinking that whatever is bedding here came back here and bed here again. There's a secondary ravine right here. It runs up through, and then right up in there is, I believe, where my target is. Head up there now.
Venture up this mountain in North River, New York during October. I expect to find a variety of wildlife animals preparing for winter, including common species like the black bear, raccoon, gray squirrel, gray fox, red fox, and numerous other species such as beavers, striped skunks, and so on. Observing that wildlife is often best early in the morning or late afternoon into the evening, and your chances of spotting them are influenced by weather and their own winter preparations.
I just heard something take off out that way. And then I heard the blue jays start carrying on.
We'll make no mistake about it. As I was traversing up this mountain, I was being sneaky, stealthy. I noticed that the wind would be my favor if I made a large right-hand hook as I made my way up the ridge, hook down across the top, and break down towards my target area, in the hopes that 0.1% that my target would make a mistake, not hear me with the ambient noise and the wind, or scent me because the wind was blowing strong into my face. I didn't see anything, but as you'll hear, there was a chance something was there.
That was interesting. A blue jay flew up in that tree branch. It was tearing away at something that wasn't really making like a. It didn't seem as if that it was crushing a nut, pecking a nut. There he comes again, right up in there. Oh, look at that. She's pulling off the beech nuts. So what she was doing is she's up there yanking the beech nuts off of the beech tree. Okay, now I'm pretty damn sure that bedding area in the scats right down there. I come up high, did like a J hook, so I could get with the wind blowing right to my face. So I'm gonna slowly work my way down and keep an eye out right down in this area.
In my opinion, our presence in the woods sets off a ripple effect amongst all the animals that sound off to alert of your presence. But did you notice how at ease that blue jay was in its environment.
It was either a branch just fell or something up in here took off. Interesting. So, just a minute ago, I heard some snapping and cracking up that way, about at the base of that dead tree right there, up in there. Could have been a branch that went down or something skedaddled. Boy, that don't look like a bear track. I don't know what. Look at it. Okay, right, forepaw there. You can see indents, which would be the claws. I mean, it's got the characteristics of a bear track right there.
Elevation 1,962 feet. I've arrived at the bedding site.
Okay, just for the record, what I've already noticed is that something has trampled two of my flags. There's the scat, which looks dried up, which tells me that yesterday that was pretty darn fresh. That's what I had expected. It's ought to be interesting. I gotta be careful what I do here. I'll have to check the pictures, but I think that branch right there, I think that's new in that broken piece. That flag is knocked over, and that flag has been tipped over. This one is tipped sideways. The others don't look as if they have been bothered at all. Interesting enough, I don't think that, I can't see what I'm pointing at. I don't think that log right there was here, and it looks as if that it got rolled up.
So I'm trying to highlight the two logs that are in question. I believe that the animals had come back to rebed and just shift some things around. Very interesting. The flags were knocked over. This first picture is my first trip there on October 8th, and then the second is from October 9th when I returned.
So, all right, what I'm gonna do is take a knee. I'm gonna put an eye on every square foot of everything that I can see all around me here and see what else I can pick up. And then we're gonna do a 3D scan of this as is. Do a 3D scan of the pile of scat, which I'm gonna do right now because the sun's shining right on it. And then, yeah, I'm debating on it whether or not I see a lot of indent in the ground here, which is indicative of body parts, the skeletal structure making its way through the skin and fat and fur and making an indent, an impression in the ground. And I see that there. I can't tell what it is. And I can already tell that up into here, all sorts of leaves have fallen in there that you can't tell that is all pressed down like it was. But it was. That was all pressed down like this. I'm almost thinking that whatever is bedding here came back here and bed here again. And that's why this is knocked over. That's knocked over. It almost looks like if it was a bear, it would be here's one here, here's another here. Or this is all one thing, which this looks more disturbed to me than yesterday, so I'll have to look at the pictures. So either like a cub laid here and the ma laid up there, or this is all one figure. I don't know. sterile scalpel to scalpel the outermost part of the scat where the DNA would be more prevalent.
Collecting black bear scat is very important. It provides a non-invasive data for scientists to analyze an individual bear's diet, genetics, health, and movement patterns without having to capture or harm the animal. This research helps in understanding bear populations, tracking their habitat use, and managing human-bear conflicts. By examining the contents of scat, researchers can see what the bears have been eating, including berries, seeds, insects, and even human related food sources. And this helps determine where they've been foraging. DNA extracted from the scat can identify individual bears, determine their sex, and assess the genetic diversity of the population. Scat analysis can reveal the presence of parasites and pathogens, and also contains hormones that provide information on the bear's stress levels and reproductive status. The location where the scat was found, along with its size, can indicate the bear's age, reproductive status, and movement patterns between different habitats. Analyzing the Sasquatch bedding area can be very important for researchers to find evidence of the creature, such as DNA from hair, skin cells, footprints, or other physical signs. It can also provide information about their behavior, such as a bedding habit, territorial marker, or how they interact with their environment. Scientists can collect samples, such as DNA from hair or skin cells, to see if they match any known primates or contain genetic material from an unknown species. Analyzing the structure of a bedding area can reveal details about a Sasquatch's bedding habits, such as the use of vegetation like moss, leaves, and branches. Researchers may also find evidence of other behaviors, such as territorial markings, or how the creature moves through their area. Analysis of plant matter, seeds, and insect castings found in the bedding area can also provide insight into the creature's diet and the local ecosystem. Footprints, tree damage, and the location of that bedding area can help researchers map the creature's movements and potentially identify territories. Finding and analyzing a well-constructed bedding area can support the claim that Sasquatch exists, as it suggests a complex, non-human primate with a bedding behavior.